You are listening to the Life in Attleboro podcast, where we interview the city's most interesting people who are making a positive difference in our community. Hey everyone, I'm the host of the Life in Attleboro podcast, Mike Sullivan. There is a great annual event coming up that I want to tell you about. It's called Keep Attleboro Beautiful. Last year, nearly 200 people teamed up to pick up more than 3,900 pounds of trash in our city. I recently spoke with Kelly Reed, a co-chair of this great organization. She'll tell you all about it in episode 42 of the Life in Attleboro podcast. Okay, joining me now is Kelly Reed. Kelly is a school teacher here in Attleboro, but she's also a co-chair of Keep Attleboro Beautiful. Kelly, thank you so much for being a guest on the Life in Attleboro podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me.
No problem. First question is an easy one. What is Keep Attleboro Beautiful all about?
Keep Attleboro Beautiful is a volunteer-run organization focused around reducing litter, improving public spaces, and building kind of community pride. We're an affiliate of Keep Massachusetts Beautiful, which kind of connects us statewide to other communities who are doing similar work, but our work is exclusively done in Attleboro.
Excellent. So when is this year's cleanup event scheduled for?
This year's event is scheduled for Saturday, April 19th from 10 to 12. We'll be at Attleboro High School starting 8 o'clock for supply pickup and on-site registration and check-in. And even if you haven't registered already, you are more than welcome to still register with us. We have a registration form on our website, keepattleborobeautiful.com. And even day of registration is okay. We prefer advance notice just so it helps with the logistics of where to put people and what sites will be cleaning up in the event.
For planning. Makes sense to me. And it's very easy to sign up. I remember doing it maybe the first or second year, and it's just a Google form, a Google kind of survey sheets or something like that.
Yeah, and if you do it within this week, you get a free volunteer t-shirt. Okay. It is neon yellow for safety reasons, but volunteers do get that if they register within a certain amount of time.
Excellent. That sounds good. So I understand there are a few ways that people can help in this effort. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, volunteering, coming out. And again, if it's a last minute decision, you are more than welcome. I just want to underscore that. The other ways in which people can help with the community cleanup, one is to be a site captain for us. So if you already are planning to come, we do really appreciate people stepping up just a little bit more and volunteering to take on a role we call site captains, which is really just organizing volunteers at a particular site, making sure that everyone's parked on the same side of the road and you're only cleaning up one side of the road at a time for safety reasons, and then reporting out how many trash bags you've collected and where they are so that we can communicate with the city. So that's just one way, and we're always pushing for that. I think people don't quite know what they're taking on, but I promise it's a pretty easy lift, but it helps us out tremendously just organizing kind of everything and having a point person out at various sites. So that's one way. Another way is to just get the word out. So if you can't come, just sharing that the event is coming. If you've participated before, kind of talking to the various groups you're a part of or communities you're a part of, and just sharing the date and encouraging people to get involved. That would be great. We do accept donations too from the community. All of that goes to the cleanup events and or any of the other beautification initiatives that we have. And that, if you are interested in doing that, you can contact us either through our website or send us an email.
Certainly a very good effort, good team effort for a great cause here, Kelly. So I'm curious, do you know about how much trash has been picked up in the past years during the annual cleanup event? And do you have a similar goal this year?
Yeah, in our 2024 cleanup last year, we collected 198 bags of trash. And Keep Massachusetts Beautiful has a little equation they use to try to convert that to pounds of trash. And so they reported back to us that we picked up approximately 3,900 pounds, almost 2 tons of trash. Wow. And that's not including some of the bulk items that every year we find, which is sometimes shopping carts, tires, mattresses, metal, lots of car parts. So it's a lot of trash out in the world, and we only get to a fraction of it. It really matters the time that people put in to going around town and picking up stuff that shouldn't be there.
Absolutely. Amen to that. So has the number of volunteers grown over the years as well?
Yeah, from the start to now, definitely. But we've remained pretty consistent in the last couple of years. We've been at 150 to 200 volunteers at each of the events. Weather factors into it. COVID definitely put a dent into it. But we did have some cleanup events during COVID. We just did them they were much smaller and more kind of individual. But people have been volunteering year after year, and they've really just remained committed to it. And so it's been wonderful. And for us, it's not so much about numbers in terms of like how many bags of trash or how many volunteers. But I think we're really just committed to having a meaningful way every year for people to give back to the city. There's a lot of ways you can do it, and this is just our way of providing that opportunity for people.
So you do feel good after you get done doing anything for the city, especially something that makes a huge difference like this. I will be sure to include the links to the sign-up page so that can be easy for every listener of the podcast to just hop on. It takes about 90 seconds or so, I would say, and you can join the cause this year. So Kelly, you've got a lot going on, especially during the school year. Why did you decide to take on a leading role as co-chair of Keep Attleboro Beautiful, and why is this annual event so important to you?
So I started getting involved with this, I think the second year that Keep Attleboro Beautiful was in existence, and just as a volunteer. A friend was doing it, and she and I had volunteered for other community, like the Friends of the 10 Mile Watershed had put on some stuff, and we got our waders on and went out, and it was great. And so I volunteered with her that year, and then they put out a call about needing help with planning. And as a teacher, I realized how hard it is to actually organize large groups of people and put something like this on. And so it was a meaningful enough event for me that I felt like this is something I could help contribute to. I got involved at the time. Lori Drucker, who is the founder of Keep Attleboro Beautiful, was the chair, and we just worked together with a couple other individuals. And then a couple of years ago, she needed to step down. She had a lot going on in life. And my current co-chair, Jane Carey, and I had a decision to make. We could let the organization fade away because the kind of founder was no longer going to be at the helm, or we could step up and take the reins. And I think the reason we chose, like for me personally, I was a Girl Scout growing up. Okay. So I participated in a lot of community cleanups, a lot of service organizations. And what that experience did for me was just really underscore this idea that if not you, who? Like that you don't have to wait for other people to do stuff, that you can be the one who does stuff. And I think sometimes we overthink service or we overthink change in the community, that we can have an impact, however small, it's meaningful. And so I thought that this was a way that I could live that in my life. If I could take this on and live those values in the way that kind of I wanted to, and as a kid really gravitated towards. So for me, that's why I stepped into the leadership role. And as far as the event go, I think it's a similar vein. I think events like this remind us that we are part of a community and that we're coming together to do good work for a place we all love, regardless of where we live in the city or what we do, or that there are all these people willing to dedicate a couple hours of their time to get their hands dirty and make the place that they live that much better.
Amen. Said Kelly. And thank you personally and from all of us in the city for helping lead this charge. I can't imagine just last year, 3,900 pounds of trash is continuing to be out there. So thank you for leading the charge. And your hands don't get terribly dirty because everybody's wearing those rubber gloves. So don't worry about getting too dirty.
Yes, we do provide gloves.
Yes,
so
exactly. So not too bad. But yes, thank you very much, Kelly. So besides the big cleanup event each year, what else is happening in the background when it comes to, you mentioned it, when it comes to planning and things like that? How much more is happening that the public doesn't really get to see?
Yeah, it's just as what you imagine, right? It's a lot of logistical, it's just getting the number of volunteers. Again, we do provide t-shirts, so just getting those things. We work with a lot of different groups. So the really cool part about the event is lots of people come out from all different facets of city life. There's scouting troops and sports organizations and local businesses and elected officials and then families and just individuals wanting to do something good for the day. And so just trying to navigate that is a little tricky. We also, again, we partner with the city. They have been great for the 8 years that we've been in existence. They agree to pick up the trash that we have around the city afterwards and just making sure that they have the information that they need to do that effectively. And it's little things like that just take more time than you would imagine just to get it right. Okay. And then, of course, picking the parts of the city that are in need of a little TLC. We do have on our website a place where if you see really trashy areas that need a little attention, you can just fill out a quick form and say, hey, you might want to check out over here. There's been a bunch of trash recently. The other piece of the puzzle is trying to find safe places for people to pick up trash, because that's also, we don't do any of the on and off ramps because of just the safety concerns about that. And we don't do those. And we try to find places that have sidewalks. But if you can imagine, a lot of the really trashy places in terms of where trash is, are along busy roads. And a lot of those places don't have sidewalks and wooded areas. So that's the other thing that takes up a bit of time for us, is just making sure we're putting people in locations by and large that are safe to pick up trash in.
Yeah. I remember when I went out, it might've been the first year, we were along route, I can't remember if it was 1 or 1A, the School of Rock area, and like Uno's is right there. And like, that's where the new cookie place is. Is that 1 or 1A?
Yeah, it's like, was it Lake Como? That's where we,
what is
like,
it?
the lake.
Yeah. So I remember that's where my location was. And you're right there. I don't remember a sidewalk, but we were also on like a side street that kind of lines the lake. So that was good. But it is good because, so a note too, like if you're not one of the first to get one of those bright yellow t-shirts and you are volunteering, do make sure to wear a bright color, because there are locations, like you said. So Kelly, question for you. If I've got a 4 and a 6-year-old, can we request to be at a safer location, like a field area, or how does that work?
Yeah. So, of course. So when you register, we ask if you are under 16 just to get a sense, but there's also a note. So you can always just say, hey, I am going to bring my small children. Can you just take that into consideration? And that's why registering beforehand is something we really encourage, because then we can make really strategic choices about where we're going to place you. And sometimes that's hard day of, to just recognize who's going to come and where we're going to put people. The other thing that makes it challenging, which is actually a really good thing, and again, just shout out to the city again, is a lot of our parks are really well maintained. It's trying to find the other places that sometimes don't get as much attention, that are, again, safe for families or with smaller children to do. But we try really hard to do that. And again, if it's something that concerns you, when you register, there is a little place you can make a notation and let us know.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So what else would you like the people to know about the Keep Attleboro Beautiful event this year and in general?
So in the event, we are rain or shine.
Okay.
So if it rains, we usually get a little less people. I get it. Not everyone wants to get wet and dirty at the same time. But we do have grabbers. So a couple things to know. On the day of the event, we have supply pickup and check-in at Attleboro High School. So 1 Blue Pride Way, the main entrance where the flagpoles are. We'll be kind of stationed there starting at 8. So you can stop by, grab your supplies. We have grabbers, we have gloves, we'll have trash bags. For anyone doing a place that doesn't have sidewalks, we have cones just to put out and just make sure that you have that. We have safety vests too. So if you don't end up getting a t-shirt, we will have safety vests that we can give you, and some basic just first aid, just Band-Aids in case you get cut. Yeah. This year, the city of Attleboro is encouraging us to recycle. In years past, we did a little bit of that and then we didn't, but they're really committed to that. So we'll have information about what's recyclable and what's not, and trying to how to divide those things up. But again, that will be supply pickup and check-in 8 o'clock, starting at 8 o'clock at Attleboro High School. And then the idea is that you'll show up at your site location that we give you at 10 and clean from 10 to 12 or until the area's done. It's cleaned up. If that's a little bit before 12, no one's going to know, and you've done your good work for the day. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah. So again, rain or shine. And so we'll be there. And if you, again, have other people you want to bring along that they didn't register, we're happy to include them in that. As far as other things going on, I'm pretty excited. We got a couple things going on. One, we're not just a litter cleanup crew. Beautification is the other piece of the work that we do. And in years past, we have partnered with the Attleboro Arts Museum to do the light boxes around the town. Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed. Art has popped up there. Yeah. So that we are part of that. And this year, we are partnering with the Parks Department to put some native trees in Highland Park. Oh. It was an opportunity that we got from Keep Massachusetts Beautiful. We took them up on the offer, and they're going to plant some of the native trees over in Highland. Great. And we're also helping them put rain barrels strategically around the city with some informational material about rain barrels and what they do. Yeah. So we're doing that. And the last kind of thing that we're doing this year, or we have done this year, is we have made a donation to Attleboro Public Schools to help fund some of its student-led action civics projects that are related to our mission. Or so if it has anything to do with the environment or beautification, and hopefully that will be for next school year. Wow. So a couple new things happening.
Yeah, excellent. Kelly Reed, co-chair of Keep Attleboro Beautiful. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Life in Attleboro podcast, and we'll hopefully see you out there at this year's event.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Again, this year's trash pickup event is set for Saturday, April 19th from 10 a.m. to noon, and you can find the link to volunteer in the show notes of this episode. Hey, I want to tell you about our new sponsor, Hoban Accounting Services. If you're a small business owner, you know how much of a hassle it can be to keep track of every penny earned and every penny spent. But thankfully, Hoban Accounting Services is on a mission to heal your headaches and fizzle your frustration when it comes to crunching those pesky numbers. Hoban Accounting Services has helped local businesses for more than 7 years. That's when Nicole Hoban, a proud mother of twin girls, launched her business. She's a QuickBooks Pro Advisor with tons of awards to her name. If you mention the Life in Attleboro podcast, you'll get 10% off for your first 6 months. If you'd like to support a small business owner in our city, just tap the link in the show notes of this episode and Nicole will be in touch. Hoban Accounting Services. A great bookkeeper should be an asset, not an expense. More than 1,200 people have signed up for the Life in Attleboro email list. We send one email each Friday. It includes exclusive offers from our sponsors, early access to every new podcast episode, and you'll stay in the know about cool events in our great city. Just go to lifeinattleboro.com and you'll see the sign-up display right there on the homepage. You'll also see the sign-up button at the top of our Life in Attleboro Facebook page. And if you know someone who would make a great guest on our podcast, shoot us an email at lifeinattleboro@gmail.com. Life in Attleboro is a great thing. Support our community, promote positivity, and make a stranger smile. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Life in Attleboro podcast.